go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our business growth community family, right? So, this week, you guys, we are covering SMART goals and organization. So, just a reminder every Monday, we send you a newsletter that digs deeper into one of our bootcamp modules. This past week, Leilani dug so deep into really getting into those SMART goals. And the week before, I dug into organization. So, next slide. One of the things we are so excited to have started in September and we'll be continuing through is our small business spotlight. So, this month we have been featuring some really great information about the Koval Distillery up in Chicago, Illinois, run by doctors Robert and Sanat Berniker. So, really exciting. Look for little tidbits of their business in the newsletter. So, and don't forget, guys, the modules that we upload for you to watch, they are always accessible to you. They're on our website, they're on our YouTube channel for Saige Consultants, and they're just a wealth of knowledge to help you dig deeper into various aspects of your business acumen for your own growth. We say it a lot. You hear us all the time, grow yourself to grow your business. Well, we created these for you for that journey that you are going on. So, Leilani, this week, I know you are so passionate about goal setting and tying it to your why. So, please take us through this. This was an amazing newsletter, by the way. I loved it. Great job.
I'm glad you loved it. I actually put a lot of thought into that newsletter. One of my passions is really just setting a goal, setting a really good goal, one that kind of just ties at your heartstrings or pulls at your heartstrings. It gives you motivation to keep going, because if you have set clear, defined goals and you've made actionable steps towards those goals, it just puts everything in alignment and you just feel better about the journey you're embarking on, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. And so one of the things about setting your goals is really being realistic about where you're at. Okay. If you are in a bad place at the moment, you're feeling down, you're out, you're tired, you're just kind of like, why was I given this opportunity to be put on this earth to live this life? Just being really honest with yourself about where you're at. Do it, and that's okay. Be down on yourself for right now, but I want you to look at the other side. Where do you want to be? Okay. You want to be motivated. You want to have ambition. You want to have drive. You want a better lifestyle. You're tired of the same old rut and grind that you keep on going through. You want to get off that hamster wheel. If that's what you if that's what you want to do and where you want to be, define it. Okay. And that's what really this over here is really talking about. It's just getting a clear aspect of where you want to be, and then getting a goal, somewhat figured out in your brain of where is the end goal for yourself. Okay. And one of the things to do that is focusing on your why. Kristen and I, a couple of times already dove into a book called Start With Why by Simon Sinek, where he really talks about defining why you do anything in life. In this case, particularly, why did you decide to start your business? Why did you decide to go into business for yourself? So defining what your why is essential. So now you can start defining how are you going to get to where you want to be. And so I encourage you 100% to go check out my goals video in our business bootcamp. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything but your time to go check out and get a clearer understanding of how you can set a particular goal for yourself and action it. And in this case, if your why, in my case is family and legacy, I have gone into business because I wanted to build a legacy for myself and for my family. Well, how can I translate that into actual goals and defining my purpose around being in business? And so figuring out those steps is going to it's going to take something that I like to call SMART goals. Now, I'm not the one who came up with SMART goals. It's been around, but really SMART goal stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And it's just saying, get specific with your goal. Find a way to measure your goal. Okay. Make sure it's achievable. Don't put it too far out in outer space that you can't really actually do it, because that will have the adverse effect. It will actually make you feel worse about yourself when you don't achieve those things. Is it relevant to your why? If you're my case, my why is my family and my legacy. The goal I set, is it relevant to improving my family lifestyle or the legacy I want to produce for myself? And what's the time I want to complete it in? That is a SMART goal. And what really helps you, once you define what your SMART goal is, it will help you figure out actionable steps to take towards that goal. And one of the things I really like to talk about when goal setting is think far ahead. What do you want to achieve in the next 5 years? So let's just say right now you're working at a corporate job and you want to go ahead and get out of your corporate job. Well, how much money do you need to produce in order to do so? If it's $160,000 a year in order for you to leave your corporate job, great, define it. That is a specific goal. You want to create 100, or you want to start earning $160,000 a year to leave your corporate job. How do you measure it? The money that's going in your bank account, right? Is it achievable? Well, I think so. In 5 years, you're not asking for 1.6 million or 16 million. You're asking for 160,000. It sure is achievable. Is it relevant to your why? That is a good one. Why do you want to leave your corporate job? What is not fulfilling you there that you want to leave? And if you leaving your corporate job to build your own, is it relative to the why? Okay. And then the time. So how much time do you want to do this in? Do you want to do it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years? And that's why I said 5 years is a great starting point. Look at the end and work backwards. And when I say look at the end and work backwards, you already know now you want to leave your job at $160,000 a year. What are you going to do in 4 years, in 3 years, in 2 years, in 1 year, right? So if you had 160,000, let's just say, for example, let's just say you're dividing that by 5, right? Where we're looking at around $28,000 a year. What can you do to create $28,000 in 1 year, which will put you that much closer to your end goal of 160,005? You see where I'm going? I'm just giving you a very rough estimate, guys. Don't hold me to these numbers. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how to set goals. Think far and work your way this way. Okay. Work your way back. And that's really how you go with setting a good goal. But your goals have to have a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound aspect to them. And again, visit the business boot camp. I go into that even more and in depth, and I give you a case study of how you can apply it to yourself. All right, with that goes to Kristen.
So I love that you referenced the book Start With Why, and it's definitely been something that has been a common thread through a lot of what has shaped what we're doing with Saige and for the community. But another book that really shaped me was The E-Myth. I love Michael Gerber's. It just takes you through, how important organization is and being strategic and planful within your business. So, Leilani talks about setting goals and making sure that they are smart. And what better way to plan out how you can achieve those different steps than to understand how important organization is within your business? Now, this looks lovely, right? Wouldn't we all love to have a team of 15 to 20 people, that we have different individuals in these roles who excel at some of these different things? But let's be real, starting out, even Leilani and I, this chart is me and her almost divided right down the center, actually, right? So, or maybe you're a mighty team of one, and that's okay too. But what you're looking at with this organizational chart is all of the different facets that need to be handled within your business so that you can achieve your goals. So if we go to the next slide, Leilani, we talk a lot about, Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and how he really explains kind of the process that people go through in building wealth and just kind of creating their legacy, if you will. And this chart aligns very well with Michael Gerber's book for the E-Myth, because Michael's case study in his book, takes Sarah, who owns her own pie business. And Sarah had been an employee before, and now she is self-employed. She created her own pie business because people told her pies were amazing and she loved making pies. I think it was with her grandmother. So she started her own business, but the business started running her, and she was not able to retain employees. She was not able to even enjoy quality personal time because she was going into her shop at like 4 a.m. And there were times she was there till 11 p.m. or 10 or midnight cleaning up. So I don't know about you, but a lot of this probably resonates with those of you listening. You feel like sun up to sundown and beyond, you need to do things in your business and you are exhausted, you are overworked, you are missing critical things. Things have slipped through the cracks, and now you have upset customers, you have delinquent bills. It's an ugly spiral that can happen. So, what Enith talks about, and what Leilani and I know for success within our own business before we even read the book, is that being very intentional with understanding that when you're an employee for somebody else, there are things getting handled for you. Somebody else is marketing to your customers that come into the doors where you're employed to service them. Or maybe you work in marketing and somebody else is making sure that the proper allocations of bills are going to the marketing fund and the merch, or, you know, the products that you need. Like, somebody else has been doing all of this when you're an employee. When you step into that self-employed quadrant, you need to make sure that all those things that run a successful business are done, which is why that organization chart can be so important. And then if you go to the next slide, I just give a very simple description of what it could look like to organize and time block your week. There are things that need to happen in your business that are customer facing, and there are things that need to happen behind the scenes. And these are things that need to happen, some of them every single day and others weekly. Now, this is not an end all saving daily routine chart. This is just something that kind of gives you an example of what may need to happen on a regular basis. But I beg of you to save yourself time and frustration and money and begin to move yourself towards the life that you imagined you would have when starting a business, to start with organization and have that align with your SMART action plan and your goals. When are you going to take time to review your budget? When are you going to take time to review marketing efforts? When are you going to take time to double check your sales? When are you going to take time to double check the products that you're offering or the services that you're doing and what those cost? There is so much that goes into running your business on a daily, every day, that organization can make or break you, truly. So next slide, Leilani. Thank you. And it all boils down to your routine. I feel like so many of our modules talk about reflecting on your why and double checking what your routine is. Because if you just wing it every single day, it's going to work for a while. For some of you, you maybe even had a really lucky 2 or 3 years just kind of winging it. But there will get to a point where your business is running you, and those really important things start slipping through the cracks and you just get exhausted, or you can't even take a day off. Like, that's not where you want to be when running your own business. So your routine is so critical to setting up your business success. Starting your day with reflection on your why every single day. And this does not have to take, Leilani, are there times where you just breathe before you get out of bed and just practice a moment of gratitude and reflecting on your why, but it doesn't take you all but 2-3 minutes, right? So,
Sorry, I was on mute. Sorry. Yes. No, all it takes is 2 or 3 minutes, not even sometimes, just waking up and saying, thank you for this morning. And thank you for the opportunity for another beautiful, wonderful day that something incredibly awesome will happen to.
yes, absolutely. And I loved, Leilani and I read a book, Think and Grow Rich, that really talked about, and yes, I said think and grow rich, not think and grow rich. Both are wonderful books, but Think and Grow Rich is to start each day and say, something amazingly awesome is going to happen today. And when you're running a business, you are constantly serving others. So reflecting on what your why is will continue to fuel your motivation. Taking care of yourself, of course, digging into your numbers. You have to look at your budget and your results daily and reflect on that. Touching base with anybody who is part of your business is so important. And Michael Gerber gets into that in his book too. He'll back me up on what I'm telling you. When you just put somebody in role and then say, oh, thank God I don't have to worry about that anymore, that's when you lose control. And they're going to make decisions that they make sense to them, but maybe not what align with your why. Reviewing your customer communication, that has to happen daily. You can't leave your customers hanging, especially in a day and age where people can book and buy things in moments on their phone. You need to have a set time block that your customers know that you will follow up with them by. And that could be written into an automated response. Hey, I check my communication at this time and this time. I will follow up with you within 24 hours. At least they know you will be getting back to them. And then, of course, moving through checklists. So, friends, if you feel like your business is just running you versus you running your business, take time to just stop and rethink what your routine is and what your strategy is that align with those goals that you set that connect to your why. I mean, Leilani, I remember a few months into us, um, with Saige, you had a day that you kind of shut yourself away for Be Chic. And it was just all planning and strategy and reflection and just making sure that things were in the right place with the right people within your business. But you had to do it objectively, right? You had to step away from the business first. So, anyways, so important. But if you have more questions on this, of course, we are here for you. But take time to dig into your routine, guys. But let's get into what I'm hearing. Great feedback from you guys. We love the Q&As, right? It's Leilani and I. It's the highlight of our week each week when we get to get some of these questions from you and hear what you're thinking and concerned about. So first question. Go ahead, Leilani.
Okay, so first question from one of the viewers is, my ultimate goal is to replace my corporate job with my own business. Where do I start with SMART goals? I think I kind of covered that. But okay, work backwards is pretty much where it comes down to. I think one of the biggest challenges is that with everything in YouTube out there, everyone's like telling you, oh, make $100,000 in 6 months, or, leave your job next week with these 3 simple tips or something like that. There's like so much clickbait out there, which is really conveying the wrong message. Okay. This is not an overnight scheme. If there are chances you will come into vast amounts of fortune in a short period of time, but maintaining it and sustaining it is the true art of business. Okay. And so my encouragement is going to be, if you are working your corporate job, you want to leave it, the hours outside of your corporate job should be dedicated to your business, all of them. Okay. And then, of course, strategically putting in there times of respite and making sure that you are reconnecting to source and rejuvenating yourself. But the first goal I would set for you, that I would suggest for you to set for yourself, is making your first $10,000. To be honest, I throw that number out there because some people, $10,000 is little, and to some, $10,000 is a lot. But at the end, just focus on making 10,000. Just set a goal. If you want to leave your corporate job, the first thing you need to do is make a sale, or sales, plural, right? That's what creates business, right? Until you have a sale, you have a charity. And so at that point in time, I would say focus on getting sales. Once you get some sales in, and now you're going to start building an infrastructure around that. And then now you can say, okay, how much money does it take for me to leave my job? If it takes $160,000 for me to leave my job, when do I want to create that sustainable, okay, reoccurring $160,000 a year so that I can leave my job? Or maybe you are making $160,000 in your corporate job, but maybe that's not exactly what you need to live with, right? You can maybe live with $60,000 comfortably. That's something to consider. And that's going to be diving into your numbers. Knowing your numbers, both in your business and personal life, is going to help you really get a better understanding of what's the bare bones you need in order to maintain a good lifestyle, right? 160,000 might have a lot of things that you've spent unnecessarily to create a lifestyle that you don't necessarily need. Maybe you only need $80,000. And in that case, you are shortening the amount of time it's going to take for you to leave your job. So this is, I guess, a double goal. First is make a goal to get your number, to know your numbers, 1. And 2, make a goal to the number you found out by knowing your numbers that you need in order to replace your income. And yes, you can use SMART goals doing that. Specific, for example, if know your numbers, the specific thing would be knowing and creating a personal budget for myself. Bare bones and what I need as a nice lifestyle, right? Bare bones is going to be when shit hits when poop hits the fan, what do you absolutely need to survive? And the other one is going to be, this would be nice to have budget. Okay. Create those specific goal, create two different budgets. Measurable, you go through the list. You guys can go through the list. All right. And then after you do that, make another SMART goal for what it's going to take to replace your income at a comfortable level. Kristen?
I think one thing to remember, and I love that you said this, when you want to replace your corporate job, it's going to take time, obviously, when you're not working, to pour into your business. And it's going to take some due diligence around how you're spending your time and what you're putting your time into. But there is one common law throughout the entire universe, and that is what you plant, you will reap. So when you put time into setting goals and spend time on achieving those goals and working towards that, you will reap most likely even more than what you've planted. I mean, look at anything a farmer plants, he harvests, and he harvests more than what he plants. He plants a few seeds, he gets enough to feed a whole community. So just have that solace, I guess, and knowing that the time that you will be pouring into, and that might mean some sacrifices in the meantime. You may not be able to go out and hang out with friends as much as you were. You may not be able to perhaps travel. And that's what Leilani was talking about. There may be a few sacrifices to live very lean for a while you're building this up. But if that's truly what your ultimate goal is, then it's doable. The other thing I loved, and Leilani takes you through this in her practical application, it's start big and work your way back. But she really shows you how to do that. And even leveraging AI, she leverages ChatGPT to help with possible steps for a big goal. And then she breaks that big goal into, okay, how can I achieve step 2 within the next 6 months? And then that will give you a set of goals. And then you can like, okay, how can I achieve step 1 of that within 2 weeks? Right. So it can really break down and give you SMART goals for short-term things that you need to do, like educating yourself about your industry, learning finances and budgeting, getting the right base of whatever it is you need, and then building from there. So it can be done. Create a goal, create a SMART goal, and go for it. All right, let's see what the next question is.
Okay, how can I know my SMART goal is reasonable and will move me in the right direction? I think that's a good one. I think being kind of aware of what your current circumstances, and I'm not trying to say you need to talk yourself off a ledge. I'm not trying to say that. I guess where it is that I've seen, it's almost like when you're celebrating New Year's, you're making that New Year's Eve list, right, of all the things you want to accomplish, and then you go on there and say, I want to lose 100 pounds by January or February. That's one, not healthy, right, to lose that much weight in such a short period of time. And 2, it's highly unlikely. So I think first is just really getting realistic on, is your goal healthy, right? The goal you set for yourself, how much time and energy is it going to take you in order to achieve that goal in that period of time that you set for yourself, right? Could you reasonably do it in the time you set? And is it healthy if you achieved it? I mean, what different sacrifices would you have to do in order to achieve the goal on whatever timeline you set? So healthy, think health, right? Mental health, physical health, all the healths, okay? And then I hate to get woo-woo on this because I'm such a numbers girl, but I think you'll know. I think your intuition at this point will serve you. If you're setting a goal and it doesn't sit right with you, it feels over ambitious to you, or you're questioning, is it going to be right for you? I would say that's probably something you need to peel some layers back on and get down to, why is it that you created that goal in the first place? Is that really what your soul and your heart is telling you you need? right? Like I said, I hate to get woo woo on you on that one. But typically, when you set a goal and you're really ambitious and you're really driven and you feel like, yeah, man, you get all pumped up, you're like, yeah, this is going to happen, then that's the right direction to go in. I don't want to limit you because I've seen amazing things happen for people. So I don't want to say, don't do it because it's just not going to happen and you're going to talk yourself off the ledge and you're going to lose motivation. But I also want to tell you, check with your gut. I think most people who are doing business have opened up a business. We're highly optimistic people, but we're also highly intuitive people. And so I'd say just check in with yourself and say, is this what it serves me? And this kind of goes back to your why as well. You will know if you're moving in the right direction if the goal you set aligns with the reason why you have decided to be in business or why you have decided that goal is important to you. So if it aligns with your why, I don't think you will be asking yourself this question. And that's why I say about peel those layers, because if you're asking yourself this question about a particular goal, something there is causing friction with your ultimate why. So peel those layers back and get down to the nitty gritty of why you've set that goal for yourself. If you're questioning if it's the right direction for you.
I love that. So true. And this made me think, actually, as you were talking through two different books that we had read together, Infinite Possibilities, right? Like, because you talk about it really aligning with your gut and is what you're working towards truly what your, I guess, essence wants, and does it align with your why? So I love that you brought that up, Leilani, because it is true. If something isn't right, that friction absolutely happens. But the other thing, you talk about something being reasonable and moving in the right direction. And that's really where I went to Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, because a lot of times when we're in business, we want to spend a lot of time on something that's fun to do, that's part of the business, but not necessarily something that will move your business in a direction of profitability and generating income. And I think taking time to really boil down those tasks and those things that you want to do. I think Brian has several different exercises that you could choose to do. And I think about, the A, B, C, D, and E ones, the A tasks that you need to do are ones that are the most important. They're probably the hardest to do, but they're the ones that will get your business going in the right direction and generate income. And then some of the other ones are kind of nice to do's. And then you will have some that will be considered E, and those are tasks that you should eliminate altogether. So I think it's really boiling down to is something that you're setting as a SMART goal for yourself. Those action steps along the way, are they going to generate profit or income for you? Are they going to serve your customer in the way that aligns with your why? I think those are really great questions to ask before you decide to start moving on something. So that would be my suggestion on those.
I love that. You're absolutely right. And I thank you for bringing up Eat the Frog, because you're absolutely right. Making sure those actionable steps. I think I didn't emphasize on that enough as far as SMART goals go. You creating a SMART goal is going to help you create those actionable incremental steps to achieving your goal. I think sometimes a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners really get lost in the nuances and the little nitty gritty stuff that they feel like they need to complete in their business, right? When really that's just busy work, like Kristen said. You've created yourself busy work. If you have a clear, actionable step, it's going to have those are mini goals that need to be completed on a monthly, weekly, or daily basis that every time you do it will incrementally get you closer to that ultimate SMART goal. So I love how you brought that up, Kristen. Thank you. All right.
All right.
What's that next question, Kristen?
What should I outsource and what should I still do in my business to stay organized? I love this. I feel like this whole concept of outsourcing has come up a couple times in some of our different questions, but obviously this is in the thought process of staying organized. So the first thing is, and Leilani and I stress this so much, you have to know every aspect of your business for the purpose of not being either swindled or taken advantage of in the future, or not letting things not align with your why in the way they pan out. So, as far as what should you outsource, my first question is, have you kept your hands in it long enough to truly understand it and be able to read it? Um, Most business owners will outsource various things based on what your passion is. If you are really, really good at marketing and advertising, then that may not be something you necessarily give up right away if that is something you are great at. If you're great at sales, by all means, keep yourself on the sales floor. But if you at some point are not the best at building relationships with the customers, you're just really great at ideation and budgeting and strategy, then you're going to want to find a face of the business soon, because it's very important, the relationships that you build with your customers and your community, so that you can build future. So I think this question is actually really, really complex, because you have to know yourself, and I refer to, I have the boot camp module around leadership and understanding your leadership archetype. So you need to understand who you are, but then you also need to make sure you keep your hands in your business enough to understand everything. And then where do you need to spend more time to get more money? And 99% of the time, we business owners need to be in front of our customers as much as possible, because our customers is the reason we have our business. So be careful what you give away. You should give away things that free up your time so that you can dig deeper into the customer experience, and then dig deeper into how to build what it is your customer, how they're served from your business. So that might mean eventually outsourcing the marketing, even if you enjoy doing it. That might mean outsourcing various aspects within bookkeeping, but that does not mean you give up checking your books regularly. There's a difference. So I think it very much will depend on where your passion is and where you need to spend time, based on who all is part of your business with you. Leilani, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you covered it. I like to me personally, and in my business, there's a lot of times where us business owners, we're like, man, no one can do what I do. No one can really be me, know exactly how my brain works. I know me. How can I teach me? Right? That's really what it comes down to. And so I think sometimes when you're starting, well, let's just say a particular whatever, a particular department you're in that you enjoy, like Kristen said, maybe you like the marketing aspect that really gets your mojo going, right? But what about marketing do you like? Because I'm pretty sure you probably like the design aspect, the problem solving part, coordinating different things together, and coming up with a neat project to start on, but you don't really like executing the project, right? You don't like going into the software and doodling and doing all the nitty gritty kind of boring admin crap that goes along with that department. So where I go, I'm like, just focus on what it is that you really enjoy doing and what you're really good at. Because there's another thing. I might be a numbers girl and I like being in numbers. It doesn't mean I want to be an accountant. I don't want to do the books. I don't, that's not something I enjoy doing, but I do looking at the numbers at the end of what we've accomplished in our business and plan from there, because my strategist side comes out. So where I'm going with this is, when it's time to outsource is when you know your stuff enough that you can just only focus on doing 20% of it. And you can use the sandwich method if you want. So, for example, if you're doing marketing at the moment, you're coming up with the ideas. You're the one who's coming up with the ideas. You already know the teams you're going to get involved. You know exactly how you want it to look. You just need to make sure you are speaking your vision. You are clearly articulating what your vision is for this particular project. So the whole team is bought in and knows exactly how to execute it for you. All right. So that's the 10% there, is articulating your vision and the end goal for this particular project, right? And what you want to accomplish. Then giving the team to do the other 80% of it. Okay. So they're going to do up to 90% of it. And then they're going to present it to you to see your thoughts and view of it for the last 10%. So really all you did is that 20, it's the 80-20 rule. You just sandwiched it a little bit. So you started with the vision, you articulated the vision and the end goal, what you want to accomplish. They did all the grunt work. They did all the stuff that you don't really care to do. And then they're presenting it to you to get your okay. And then from there, you can make little changes here and there and get back into doing what it is that you like to do for that particular assignment. And so that's actually going to help you stay organized in your business as well, because you still have a bird's eye view of everything that's going on in every single department and every single project and job that's going on in your business, but you're not doing the nitty gritty boring crap. Okay. You are giving that away for someone else to do. And you're still on your business. You're still organizing your business. Things you're catching fires before they actually turn into a big one, a big fire, right? You're catching them. You're being proactive. So for me, it's going to be outsource everything. Like outsource everything. You want to outsource everything. And it doesn't mean you have to be overseas, whatever. I'm just saying you're really looking for someone to pass it off to. So that's my answer. What should I outsource? Everything. Right. And what should you still do in your business to stay organized? Everything. Just split up your time. Split up the time and effort that you put into every single thing.
That was a great answer. I love that.
All right, let's go on to the next one.
Yes. All right. So things I didn't even realize I needed to do keep coming up. How can I prevent this? Because it's costing me both time and money. Ouch. Yes, been there. This is where time blocking to really investigate everything that's going on in your business as part of your routine can help prevent these things coming up. So I guess my answer is twofold. One, create a routine that you are touching every facet of what your business needs. Whether you understand it or not right now, you need to be touching it. Touching it means logging in and looking at it, whether that is anything, where you are at with inventory, where you're at with your budget and your plan, where you're at with a marketing plan and agenda, where you're at with just customer engagement. There's so much that you need to do on a regular basis that if you keep yourself organized and you devote time to those, it will help prevent small surprises popping up. Now, the second part of this is to constantly be educating yourself in areas that you know you're not as confident in. It's okay. You left the corporate world or you've left working for somebody else and now you have your own business. You're not going to know everything at first. That's okay. But how do you continually get yourself immersed in the world of things that you don't understand yet? Does that mean you need to listen to, some YouTube videos around budgeting and finance? Does this mean you need to talk to somebody about budgeting and finance? Does this mean you need to spend some time watching and learning and reading about marketing strategies and talking to people who do that? Absolutely. So the more you hear us say it all the time, grow yourself to grow your business. When you time block time for everything in your business and time block time for your development on things that you know you're not as comfortable in, that's how you prevent these things from popping up unexpectedly. Leilani, what would you say?
I think time blocking. Yeah. Okay. Let me organize my thoughts, because there's so many different directions I want to go in answering this question. If you are just starting out in business, be okay with being uncomfortable. Your fires are going to keep popping up because your learning curve is huge. Okay. When you're first starting out, you are an infant in the car seat, right? And you're facing the other direction. You're not even facing forward. They got the car seat turned around. You're looking at the back of the seat here. Okay. And so your purview of everything you know about business is very, very small and limited. And so that's why things keep coming up, is because your experience level is ground level zero. And then every time you have something come up and you get over that obstacle and that hurdle, it now becomes a new lesson that you've built and added to your tool arsenal, your business arsenal. Okay. So when it comes up again, because it will, right? All of these things that come up to you, there's a reason why they're coming up, because these are lessons you need to learn to later implement and resolve in other things that will come up. So I would say, take it. If it keeps coming up, don't get frustrated. two ways of looking at this. You can be half glass full or half glass empty. Which one are you going to be? And if you're in business, hopefully you're optimistic like most of us are. You're a half glass full type of person. So take this with a grain of salt and move on to the next one. And don't get too caught up on how much time and money is going to cost you, because at the end, you're learning a lesson and it's irrelevant how much time or money it costs you, right? So that's if you're just starting out. Now, if you've already been in business for 2 or 3 years and you've, and these similar things keep happening to you, similar issues keep happening to you over and over and over again, my second question is going to be, why do you continue to live in chaos? Because doing the same thing every single day, looking for a different outcome, is chaos. So if you are continually having something happen to you over and over and over again, I would say stop, pause, and reflect inward and say, what did I not learn from all the other lessons that have been trying to be thrown in my face that this keeps happening to me? And look inward and say, is this something that I need to reflect back on and do differently this time? Okay. And that's if you've already been in business for a few years and this just keeps happening. And if you've already been in, it's another half of that is if you've already been in business for a few years and continual fires keep happening, maybe not the exact same thing, but different fires are happening to you, then I would say it is a routine thing that Kristen just talked about earlier. What part of your routine is are you slacking on and lacking in to catch these things before they happen? Because business is all about being intentional. So knowing your why of why you're being in business, be intentional with every action that you're taking by knowing your SMART goals of being organized. What's your routine? If you can get those 3 things together, most of the fires that you're going through are not even going to happen. But if you're continually coming up against fires and you've been in business for a few years, one of these 3 things you're not doing. So I would say take another time out, take a break, get some space, go to the beach, go woo-saw yourself and reflect and think, what is it that I'm not doing that's continually asking or causing me to have these fires? And now if you've been in business and you've been in business a long time, you've got multiple employees underneath you and you've got a great revenue coming up, but man, you still keep coming around these fires too. At this point, I'm going to say it's your leadership. I would say really dive in and look at your leadership level and style and see where are you not translating what needs to be done in your business correctly, that your team members and your leadership, your high level leadership is not catching this before you do. Yeah.
Love that.
So,
all right, friends. So this was great. Thank you so much for the questions. Keep them coming. They help build really what we're putting together for you. So we're so grateful that you are part of the business growth community. Don't forget, twice a month we do these. We want to take questions that you have, dig deeper into the modules that we already created, and we put these together for you to really hopefully unlock more understanding within business acumen for you. It's also a chance for mindset and perspective development, because growing yourself will grow your business. We promise you. You also can expect the weekly newsletter from us, as well as a link to the various modules that we're referring to in that module. And then don't forget, there is a whole network of incredible people in the business growth community, and they all want to see you succeed. So, speak up, engage with one another, and let's help each other grow. Right? Yes. So also, please do not forget, we have our Saige Unplugged. This is a chance when Leilani and I kick our shoes off, grab a drink, and we dig into various books or business dialogue. We enjoy business, and business can be fun, right, my friend?
All the time. And what I really like is business books always carry an underlying tone to them that carry forward from one book to the next. But I really like is they kind of get your brain juices going, right? They make you start reflecting about your current journey or a previous experience you had. And what I really like is Chris and I, you just catch us on camera. we do this in real life anyways. We'll just dialogue back and forth about something that happened in our businesses. And then we'll say, oh, remember in that book they said that? Yeah, I had that happen to me today. And then we go back and forth. And in Saige Unplugged, we really just kind of do it on camera for you guys to watch it right then and there. And I've already heard multiple times people say, when you talked about this specific issue, I went through the exact same thing. And hearing you guys told me what I needed to do in order to get over this hump. So, Saige Unplugged, you just never know what cool little tidbits we're going to put out there for you.
Yes, love it. So, next slide. Thank you guys so much for being part of the community with us. We hope that this gives you inspiration and growth and things to think about and helps you truly begin to grow yourself so you can grow your business. But we just want to thank you because you're feeding our soul too in what you're allowing us to do for you. And we're just so grateful. So
100%. 100%. I love that. Yes, thank you guys. You give us the opportunity of extending our experience and our knowledge onto you and vice versa. You guys have taught us a lot too in the meantime. So thank you for being part of our community.
Yep. Thank you guys. We will see you in 2 weeks on our next live one. Thanks, friends.
Bye. Bye.